What's going on, everyone? Welcome back. HKB Podcast, episode number 2, season 2. Pumped up to be here tonight. If you're watching, please give me a thumbs up if you can hear me okay, see me okay. And thank you for joining. I'm going to take a second to share this a couple places. Do me a favor, do the same thing. Tag a friend, tag a buddy, and give this a share, please. How's everybody doing tonight? Let us know in the comments where you're watching from. This should be an exciting show. We got some hammers coming on tonight. Nationally, locally, some new guys, some names that you'll recognize, maybe some new names. I'm excited about it. Austin, what's going on? Kyle King in the house. What's going on, Dakota? Dominique, Joshua, all kinds of people jumping in here. Steve Martin, thanks, guys. Appreciate you jumping in. Thanks for the thumbs up. Let me know you guys can hear me all right. I got the rest of the Indy Knights team waiting in the green room here, getting ready to jump on. They're excited to talk to you guys, and I'm excited to share their stories with you. Like I said, some of you will know these folks, some of you will not, and it's going to be a good time. This show is presented by TRCcovers. Got to give them a huge shout out. They've been a longtime partner with not only me, but Hoosier Kayak Bass, and they are a sponsor of the Indianapolis Knights as well. If you guys haven't checked out TRCcovers, please go and do that. Not right now. Right now, I want you to watch, but please go check them out afterwards. They've got the best rod protection there is. Their covers float. Offer rod tip protection. Got a nice rubber compound on both ends, so your hooks don't get stuck, and the rod cover doesn't get stuck on the guides. Hands down the best. But the best part is they're American made, veteran owned. And they do a lot to support the local kayak fishing community and nationally, and the fishing community as a whole. Just signed up with KBF, partnering with them this year, and doing a lot of big things in our community. So support those who support us. All right. We got a few people signed on here. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to bring in each of the Indianapolis Knights players, introduce them, and then we're going to have kind of like a round table, just have some discussion, talk about a few different things, take some questions and some comments from you guys as well. I think that'll be fun. For those of you that don't know what the Indianapolis Knights are or what the KFL Kayak Fishing League is all about, you're going to learn that tonight. For those of you who are familiar with it, you'll still probably find out a few things you didn't know. But the Kayak Fishing League is starting off this summer in June. It's comprised of several teams now. I think it's 16 teams or 18 teams across the nation. And these teams are made of an 8-man roster. 4 guys will play each week. There's 7 regular season games plus playoffs. So we'll talk a little bit about more of that tonight. But I'm excited. So let's get this thing started. I'm going to bring in these guys in no specific order, just as they're kind of laid out on my screen here. And the first guy I'm going to introduce to you guys is Justin Staley. What's up, Justin?
What's going on, guys? How you guys doing?
Man, I'm excited about tonight. And for those of you that don't know, Justin's somewhat new to the kayak space, and here in Indiana, he's fishing a lot of events though, and had some success last season. And I'm excited for everyone to get to know you tonight, Justin.
Yeah, I'm ready to get going. I'm ready for warm weather and some good fishing. So
I think that's going to be a common thread amongst all these guys tonight. So next up, one of the newest members, we had an original 6, and we were able to add a couple more. And one of the newest members to the team, Adam Murray. What's up, Adam? Can you hear me? All right, we don't have audio on Adam. Here, Adam, you there, buddy? No, can't hear you. Adam, drop out and come back. Okay. All right. We're going to move on. We're going to bring in the next guy, which is Chip. What's up, Chip?
Hey, how you doing, Sam?
Doing well, man. Thanks for joining us
Good.
tonight. Being
Pleasure to be here.
Yeah. Chip's been around a little while, off and on, been involved, done some national championships. You fish nationally and locally. Super, super good guy, great stick, and excited to chat with you and tell your story tonight, Chip.
Thanks. Happy to be here.
All right. Next up, if you fish Cassin, you know this name. Jason Cassidy. What's up?
What's going on? Can you hear me all right?
I can hear you.
Ah, good. Technology is not my forte, but that's what we got you for, Stan. Thanks for doing this, man. This is going to be awesome.
I'm excited. Yeah. I think I've said that 100 times already tonight. So I think everybody knows that now, but yeah, it should be good. I don't know if I'm any good at technology. I guess I just have more patience than most. So, all right, let's get in.
Well, I definitely don't have patience.
Brian Sparks, what's up, dude?
How's it going, guys? Glad to be here.
It's going good. If you guys don't know Brian, Brian was like the rookie of the year of the entire state in my eyes last year. Just crushed it and took home a championship for Grubby there in the fall. So first year in the kayak, winning tournaments, winning championships, and making a name for himself. So
I'm trying.
winning homies.
Yeah, right. And it's a blessing. It's fun. It's awesome to learn each and every year, and I'm excited to keep going.
Right. All right, we're gonna see if we can get Adam in here real quick. Adam, you there, buddy?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Now we got you.
Okay.
All right. And let's see. Adam, another new cat in the kayak sport, but having some success last year. So it'll be fun to talk to him a little bit about his story.
Doing the best I can, anyways.
Yeah. All right. And then you probably know this name, guys.
Can you hear me?
Yep. Gotcha. All right, you guys probably know this name. He's been around a little while now. He's done some things both locally and nationally. Won a couple tournaments here and there. Mr. Alan Reed. What's up? All right, might be a delay. All right, so here's what's going to get tricky about tonight, guys. If you're watching, I'll apologize ahead of time. With this many people jumping in and out, there can be all kinds of things go wrong. More likely that things will go wrong than they'll go right. So we're gonna try and get this going tonight. Alan, you got audio, buddy? Can you hear us?
Yeah, I'm on now. I can hear you.
There we go. All right, Alan's in, and we're missing one other. He was with us here a minute ago. I'm not sure why we lost him or how we lost him, but hopefully he'll be back soon. Another name you've probably heard of. He happens to be a national champion. Mike Elsey should be with us unless he's having some technical difficulties here tonight as well.
Does Mike just happen to be a national champion?
Just happens to be, you know.
Yeah, I think he gets a little more credit than happens to be, doesn't he?
I guess that's up for the viewers to decide tonight. But yeah, no. Here's the best part. Mike's not here, unfortunately, or we talk about this right away. Here's the best part about Mike's story. He did it through the most grassroots way you can do it. First year fishing kayaks. I believe it was his first season. He fishes here in the state of Indiana, the Challenge Series. Wins a bunch of them. Wins AOI for Indiana Challenge Series. And earns his trip to the national championship, goes down there and fishes in some of the toughest conditions of any national championship we've had, and comes away with a W. It's an amazing story. If you haven't heard it, it's out there. There's plenty of different videos and podcasts about it. But yeah, representing the state of Indiana. And since then, we have had really good showings in the national championships and national events across the country from guys coming out of Indiana. So kind of set the tone early on for us. And that was what, Alan, do you know off the top of your head, was that 2 years ago? Was that 20? Or was it
Well, it was
2018?
2 championships ago.
Right.
So
Yeah.
the championship that was just held in October, and then the next one a year and a half before that in March down at Cotto.
Right. We got our first question of the night. Jason Young wants to know, is Chip's cat on the team? We haven't talked about that. I mean, we have a mascot. It's the Knight, that you guys have seen in the logo. But I don't know. I'm allergic to cats, so you can't bring them on the road anyway. I don't think it's gonna work. I'm gonna have to say no on that one.
The cat will be disappointed.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Does the cat dress up as a knight?
Oh,
We could make that happen.
hey.
We need to have auditions for that one.
Enough allergy medicine, we might be able to make it work. Have to ride separately, in a different vehicle, but and sleep outside. Will your cat sleep outside?
No, it's an inside cat, so we'll have to scratch her.
All right.
Sound like you got a cuddle, Sam.
Oh, that's true. Look, I'm telling you what, the wind blows strong enough around here. The neighbors' cats are outside, and cat hair blows by the front door. I start sneezing. So, yeah, I don't have to get anywhere near cuddling to have the effects. All right, nobody jumped on the night to listen about cat stories, except for maybe Jason. So, but all right, guys. Well, let's do this real quick. Let's just kind of go around the horn here and just introduce yourself briefly. Obviously, I just did kind of a small little intro for each of you guys, but kind of tell us a little bit like where you're from. Tell us where you're from and what you're about, and then we'll go from there. And we'll start with Justin. Go ahead, bud.
Hey guys, I'm Justin Staley. I'm from Clay City, Indiana. 2020 was my rookie season in the kayak. Really enjoyed it. I found that this community is about as close as you can get to the military that there is. And then you throw Indianapolis Knights, a team in there, and it turns into that family that I was missing. So that's how I ended up here. I just truly love fishing and being in a kayak after last year, and want to take it as far as I can, guys.
Yeah, man. I'm excited to see what you do. Me and you have had an opportunity to fish a little bit, practice together, travel some together. And you're a super versatile angler. And one of the things that I love about you, and one of the reasons I wanted you on this team, is just you're not only are you willing to adapt and able to adapt, but you like to switch it up and change and try new things and push the envelope of your skill set. And that's what I think is really important in someone who is going to be traveling and fishing against a really competitive field. So that's one of the things that I was most excited about with you.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Yeah, man. I mean, you've proven to me time and time again that you're willing to make the changes and try new things. And I think that's going to be important this season. So Clay City, we got guys all over the place.
Don't judge me.
All right. No, I won't. You know where I'm originally from. You know I can't make too many judgments here. All right. So next up, northern part of the state, farthest north guy we got. A lot of us are kind of centrally located, but we got Chip. Chip, what's going on, man?
Not a whole lot. Happy to be here. Proud to be part of this outstanding group.
All right, guys, I'm trying to help Mike get back in. He's like stuck somewhere. He got stuck in limbo, so trying to bring him back. And then Adam too. All right, Chip. So tell us, where are you at again?
I live in West Lafayette now. I'm originally from Indianapolis. Been kayak fishing this will be my 4th year.
Gotcha. Okay. And so where did you start in kayak fishing though? Like, did you immediately jump into a club, or what did that look like?
A friend of mine, a lot of you guys may know Eric Stansberry. He got me into kayak fishing. And we started doing local state tournaments. We did IKA and SIAC and just kind of grew from there.
Nice. Yeah. SIAC's where I got my start as well. So shout out to SIAC. Alan and Aaron Mullender introduced me to the SIAC crew. So that's where I got my start as well.
Good group of guys and gals.
Yeah. There we go. There's a champ. Mike Elsey in the house.
There he is.
What's up, y'all? I was in the dark room for like 15 minutes. I'm like, what's going on?
I know. I wasn't sure where you went. How we lost you, though.
Just blame it on Sam. It's his fault.
Oh,
Do it.
He
Yeah,
was
let's
saving the
take
best
out-
for last.
You should have seen all the things that he said about you before you got here.
oh, I got online on Facebook and I was watching y'all, so I got it all.
Okay.
Nice things. Nice things.
I didn't say they were mean. I just said all the stuff you said about him.
Oh, okay. Good. Well, now we got a full crew here, all 8 men with us tonight, so that's good. All right, Jason Cassidy, you're up, man. Tell us a little about yourself.
Well, I like to fish, just like everybody here, but very competitive. I love the competition, and a couple years ago I had the opportunity to travel with Mike, and I really love the whole travel aspect of it. Traveling to see different lakes, fishing against people that are at the top of their game. I think it really helps elevate you as an angler individually, and I think that's what the KFL and the Knights are really going to hopefully bring to the kayak community, is that competition that's just at another level. Kind of it breaks out of that one-on-one element that fishing is so known for, and really involves a team, a group of people, a city, a state, if you will. So I really think it's something that's way different, but simple at the same time. I think it's really going to take off, and I can't wait to get it going. We got a lot of trips planned for this year outside of the Knights. We bought a really, really, really big kayak trailer this week. So we're excited to get that thing hooked up and on the road and hit about 20 of these things across the country. So
Is that what you're calling the kayak trailer?
yeah. It's
Okay.
28.5 foot. Yeah, it's got a kitchen,
You
bathroom,
gonna pull that
shower.
thing with the old
My girlfriend
S2?
Nicole said she wasn't gonna live. No, I didn't get rid of the S10. We got a new GMC Sierra.
Okay. New hauler.
Because that is the biggest kayak trailer I've seen anybody pull around.
Yeah, I
We'll
think
see
he can
how
pull
it
it.
goes. I'm pretty excited.
He can
It's
haul
got
all
a
our.
trailer in it. It's like a transformer.
Yeah, are you going to haul all of our kayaks?
We can do that. We can make it work somehow. I'm sure.
Sounds
It's got
perfect to
plenty
me.
of room.
Is there a picture of that?
And
on
it's got
Facebook?
fireplace. Cat. What's that?
You have a picture of that on Facebook?
Not yet. Took a couple pictures Monday night when we brought it home, but we're gonna get it cleaned up and get the kayaks in there and kind of do a walkthrough. I was
Nice.
really jealous of everybody's kayak walkthrough, so I figured I'd try to upstage everybody with a RV kayak trailer walkthrough. So we'll see how that works out.
Okay. I like it. Well, moving on. The Grubby champion 2020, Mr. Brian Sparks. What's going on?
Yeah, thanks, man. No, it's exciting. It's getting close to crunch time. I mean, it's got a little snow out there right now, but dude, it's every day. I keep looking at the weather, hoping that it'll change so that we can go out and do something. But it's just like a kid at Christmas Day. You just want to start opening up gifts, and it's not going to happen. But we'll get
Brian, I got
there.
a place you can come. It's like
Yeah.
84 degrees for the next
I
6
need it.
days. Come on
I
down,
need
man. Come on
I need a
down.
week of that. You know, like I was watching a lot of the other podcasts, you know, on the KFL, and we're kind of an underdog. And I look at this group of guys, and I'm like, they don't know what they're messing with. We're about to put the smack down, and we're going to open some eyes.
Yeah.
And I'm excited.
I know the power you have on a team, Brian, because we fished together on a team.
Right.
And Crossroads Classic, this came short of a victory. I mean, this is like so close. But we got to get together, practice together, and I know what you're capable of doing and how well you work in a team atmosphere. And then on top of that, I've seen you catch donkeys everywhere you go and win tournaments. So I'm excited, man. I'm excited.
Yeah, I've been blessed, and it's going to be a different animal, this whole team thing, because most people's used to just the individual one-on-one, and we got to work together, and that's a different animal. People aren't used to doing that kind of activities when you're on the water fishing. The communication is different. Fishing with you on the Crossroads, that was a little taste of it, but I think we only got a lot of learning to do, and I mean, it's exciting. I'm ready to learn myself, just new techniques. That's why I like the kayak industry, man. Everybody's willing to give you what they have, information, gear, whatever it may be. They're just willing to throw it out there, and that's why I love it.
Yeah, man, absolutely. All right, I'm having a couple comments coming through. People are having a hard time hearing me specifically. I just made a couple adjustments. Let me know if I got that fixed. Jason,
Yeah, you kind of broke up there for us too a little bit.
Did I? Yeah, this is difficult when you've got 8 feeds running at once. It gets a little bit hard to because your computer, for those of you that aren't familiar with it, is pulling in every one of these feeds, then trying to push out another one. So it's a little bit difficult from time to time. All right, sounds like we're better now though. So moving on, Mr. Alan Reed. You've been a staple in the HKB community, obviously from the very beginning, helping me get this thing off the ground and running. You've been an admin for SIAC. But tell everybody a little bit about what you're up to now and kind of what you're about.
Man, it's been quite a journey over the last few years, but kind of shorten it up, right? So middle of last year, I just put all my stuff in storage and said, I'm just going to go around and fish tournaments and learn as much as I can fish. And so I've been everywhere from Maine down to Florida to Missouri to just all over. And just trying to pick up everything I can and learn as much as I can, kind of on that crash course of test season. And it's been good. I mean, I've learned a ton. Definitely learned a ton. So we'll definitely see what the rest of life brings. Things kind of happen. But I've been down in Florida here for, I don't know, most of 6 or 7 weeks now, because you guys up north have frozen water, and it's not frozen down here. Like we're mid 80s for the next several days. So taking advantage of all that, enjoying it, and we'll just leave it at that. I don't know what else to say on that piece, but just love fishing and learning. And we got a great group of guys here. Everybody brings a skill that's different, and I want to learn from everybody. What does everybody bring to the table? There's probably some events that some people are going to excel at because it kind of fits their natural tendencies to go to, and hope to learn from that and be in the different places we have to fish as part of this league. It's going to bring some different waters, and I'm really looking forward to that.
Absolutely. And a lot of what goes into picking a team is, one, finding a group of guys in the fishing industry that can work together. Brian alluded to that earlier. Like, that's a difficult thing to do, because naturally, as fishermen, we don't want to talk about where we're fishing. Even when you're sitting around a campfire with your best fishing buds, you're always kind of being a little bit close, you know, and not really letting that stuff out. And here we've got to, with 8 guys, break down water. Obviously, it's a different format, but it's still, it kind of goes against the grain. And this isn't the only thing we're fishing. Each and every one of the guys on here tonight are fishing several other events, in some cases multiple events a week, and every series out there. So, we're going to have to kind of flip back and forth. But I'm excited, like you said, about becoming a team and a brotherhood and working through this. So
it definitely brings a different aspect to it.
Mhm.
Of, even, you stay in a house with a group of people, which I've done multiple times traveling nationally, that you'll share little bits and pieces and that kind of stuff.
Right.
But here, like, you really are a team, and like, are you willing to take down all of the walls to share with everybody? And for me personally, like, that's like, well, I give you pieces, but like, like, I don't give all my stuff out. Like, I give people hints, but I don't give everything.
Yeah. No, I get it. And it is
I'm looking at you, Mike. I'm looking at you.
Sorry. I've got an assistant here wanting to help. He's wanting to chime in.
Oh, another cat. The indie felines. I guess we could have called ourselves that. All right. Well, we got 2 more people to quickly introduce here before we hit the 30-minute mark and start going over some other things here. So, Adam, another newcomer to the kayak scene. Definitely not a newcomer to fishing and tournament fishing by any means, but a newcomer to the kayak scene. Kicks off your rookie season, if you will, with an AOI title in Grubby at Monroe. Maybe in my opinion, the toughest series of grassroots bass yakking, and pull out an AOI, broke my heart and some other people's hearts, and here you are on the Indianapolis Knights team, and we're excited to have you. But tell everybody where you're from and a little bit about yourself.
I live right Columbus, Indiana. Basically, I just started. I started out. I found out about kayak fishing through Kayak, and that's really what got me interested. But the Grubby platform is what really got me, like, opened me up to tournaments and stuff, and being able to pick a day. And the more that I got into it, the more I just drove to want to do it more and more. And then with me bringing the second place at Monroe for the trail series, KBF trail series, that really excited me. And that allowed me to go down to Guntersville and do the trail series. And I got to meet a lot of cool people down there, a lot of people that, I sat at home, watch YouTube videos, and I actually learned from these guys and actually got to meet some of them firsthand. That was really cool. And now to be on a team with, everybody knows Mike Elsia, just to see some of the names that I'm teamed up with is just exciting for me.
Yeah, man, it is for me as well. And I've been a huge fan of this sport for a long, long time. Well before I ever jumped in a kayak. And so for me to be a part of this with you guys, bringing some new guys in, and then partnering with some true veterans of the sport, I'm really blessed to be a part of that, honored. And you mentioned the last guy here, which we haven't got to because he was blacked out for a minute, and he's just kind of last in the rotation here. But probably honestly, if we're all looking within here, are going to say this is the guy on the team that we're all kind of looking up to. I mean, Mike has done it. He's been at the top, and he's proven that he can consistently compete amongst the best. And Mike Elsey, if they don't know your story by now, they've been living under a rock. But go ahead and kind of tell a little about yourself.
Yeah, I appreciate it, guys. It's I tell you, first thing though, this whole team thing is really going to be cool. I'm extremely excited about it. Like everybody else already alluded to, it's going to be a kind of a different format and something to get used to as far as like kind of like what Alan was talking about, sharing information and all that kind of thing. But the biggest plus to this team event that I think anyway will be it kind of takes some of the pressure off of us individually. When I'm in a tournament, obviously it's all me, or it's all Adam, or it's all Alan. They're fishing for themselves. Now we're fishing for everybody, or we're fishing for each other. So it's going to take a little bit of that pressure off. If I have a rough day and I can only catch 3 fish for whatever reason, it's not the end of the world because I got 6 other guys out there that's grinding too. So
right.
I think that aspect is gonna play key for this whole team event.
Absolutely. Well, go ahead.
So, well, anyway, yeah, I just most of y'all know I kind of came from the bass boat world. I've been fishing all my life, and this will be, I guess, officially like my 3rd year in the fishing out of kayak. Started kind of at the base level. Start with the state challenges, the monthly online challenges, just to kind of get my feet wet and to try to get used to this whole fishing out of a plastic boat thing. And qualified for a pretty big tournament that was held in Shreveport a couple years ago, and fooled around and won that sucker. So
yeah,
it's been
hanging a Cinco on some bark.
Yeah, it's been nuts ever since.
Absolutely,
it's been fun.
This year is going to be just as nuts as the past years, and maybe even more so with introducing the KFL to an already full lineup. Here in the state of Indiana, I think you can fish almost every day of the week in a tournament, it seems like. At least Thursday through Monday, every week there seems to be a tournament with the different series that we have here in Indiana. And for those of you that are watching and aren't familiar with the kayak scene in Indiana, whether you live here or not, make sure to continue to tune into the podcast. We're going to do a complete breakdown of 2021 and what's going on here in the state of Indiana in a later episode coming in a couple weeks. So make sure to check that out. But, it's going to be a crazy season. But this KFL thing is bringing something completely different to the table. We've kind of hinted to some of those things here already tonight, but just a quick breakdown for you guys. This is 8-man teams. Only 4 guys play in a game, though. Like, we play against one other team. We've got home games and away games. We're going to show you the schedule here in just a second. Like any other kayak tournament, it's by length, but the limit is 10, not 5, like we traditionally see, or 3. It's a 10-fish limit, and as a team, we work together to get those 10. Now, if Mike catches 8 and Justin catches 2, that's fine. But it is a 10-fish limit, and we're going to go against.
If Mike catches 2 and somebody else catches, or if Mike catches 8 and somebody else catches 2, the rest of us feel really bad because we didn't contribute.
We did, and Justin's smiling.
It's the
so
10
big
biggest,
he's
guys.
like,
Remember that. It's the 10 biggest. We can all catch 20, but it's just the 10 biggest.
Yeah, we need 10 bigs. Exactly. So, but we're going to be traveling, to some pretty cool places. And let's go ahead. I'm going to share the schedule with everyone real quick. I think I can do that still. Here we go. And let's do it like this. Boom. There's the schedule for this year for the Indianapolis Knights. So week 1, we're going to West Virginia This is an interesting week. We'll talk about this here in a second. Week 2, we're going to Detroit against the Motor City Ambassadors. We're going to be fishing Lake St. Clair, I believe, for that one. Then West Virginia's coming back, playing against us. Then we got a bye week, week 4. Week 5, which is August 7th, we're going to Alabama, fishing Logan Martin. Really pumped about that. Turn around, we fish Alabama again, but at home in week 6. And then we finish up our season at home against Detroit. So there's a quick look at our schedule. What is awesome about this is all of these games will be streamed live. All of these games are going to be streamed live for everyone to watch and see all the action, as well as the other games going on. So that's going to be really cool. And each week we'll have a starting lineup and then obviously a supporting cast as well. But we got a question, guys, earlier on from our first competitors of the season. The West Virginia Appalachian Anglers, they have an important question for us, guys. All right. So yeah, Brian back here. Who am I missing? I got everyone.
Yep.
No,
There
all
we
I
go.
see is the schedule here still.
I see everybody.
Yeah, I see everybody.
Okay.
Sorry, guys, I was losing battery.
No, you're all right.
I just see the schedule is all, but that's okay.
Mike's getting stuck for some reason. Okay.
I want to hear
here's
this
the
question.
Here's the question. What flavor shine do you all prefer?
Whatever the lures serve.
Hey, now listen, this is a tactic. They're trying to get you all liquored up before
No,
the
it's
game.
the losers. It's afterwards. It's a celebration.
Yeah, I know better. Them West Virginia guys are like, them Indiana boys can't handle no shine.
So I think Brian kind of touched upon this when he was giving his thing, right? So I think Indiana is kind of an underrated place because, look, we don't have the biggest fish. That's no secret, right? We're Midwest, kind of northern. I mean, because they're buried in some snow right now. But we can catch fish because we fish the toughest conditions all the time. And so put us in any situation and we'll outperform you. That's what it's going to be.
Yep, absolutely. I agree.
I mean, I think some of these national tournaments that we've been seeing kind of proves that. I mean, Mike and you, Alan, and even some guys that aren't on this team that fish around here.
Yep, Glenn Landstrom.
Have been Glenn Langstrom, even
Mike Kiefer.
Matt Kiefer. You know, we've had a pretty good showing at the national level from Indiana, regardless of what you think. But I mean, there's some hammers here, and like I said, sometimes it's tough to catch fish, and it kind of teaches us how to adapt and to just not get stuck on one technique and realize, hey, I got to go deeper, I got to go smaller. You know, I think we're really diverse in our techniques, and I think that's what's going to help us.
Yeah, and that's not just a kayak thing either. Even in the bass boat space, you see the guys from Indiana being very versatile and being able to go throughout the country and do well. I mean, there happens to be an Indiana guy, no longer, he's living in Tennessee now, that is currently probably ranked amongst almost everyone, the number one angler in the country right now, Jacob
Big
Wheeler.
Wheels.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Jacob Wheeler grew up in the Indianapolis area, fishing the White River, fishing all the clubs around here, IBF, and he's gone on to be maybe the biggest name of our generation in the sport right now, you know, right up there with the Kevin Van Dams of the world. And so I agree. I think Indiana just forces you to be a gritty angler. That's kind of the word that I would use. You can go until 255 without a bite and still be just as much in it as you were at lines in, because you know at any minute things can turn around.
That's right. Give us the toughest conditions and we will outperform.
Yeah,
Like,
I agree.
so Chip, I mean, Chip, we've seen that, right? Like, you went down to Gunnersville here, what, 3 years ago now. It wasn't the easiest fishing, but you grounded away out on a bridge and
Yeah.
and did well.
Yeah, you guys are exactly right. You have to learn to fish a variety of areas, a variety of baits, a variety of tactics. And because we don't have 80 degrees and sunny weather, Alan, we have to make do with what we can. So I think it teaches you a lot. It teaches you to be versatile in your baits and your technique as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
That, and we also fish small waters, which can be a negative at some points, but at the same time, all these small waters that we have in the state are also the most pressured lakes that you can. I mean, they're hammered every single week, and if you can catch fish here in the Midwest, especially in this state, you can catch fish anywhere.
Yeah, yep, absolutely. The ability to adapt is definitely strong amongst Indiana anglers. It's not like Florida where you can throw a jackhammer or punch and that's all you need to know how to do, or maybe toss a Cinco. Up here in Indiana, we gotta know how to change it up 15 times in one tournament just to get a limit and move. So, but quick question from Chris here. I want to get to this. How do you watch? This is an important question, right? So Kayak Fishing League has their own Facebook page, Instagram, and website. Games will be broadcasted there on YouTube. They're going to have a Twitch account, I think. So there'll be several ways. Locally, if you want to follow, I'm going to share all the Indianapolis Knights games to the HKB socials and the website. I hope to have the website back up by March, guys. I'll talk more about that later, but we'll share all of that. And then Indianapolis Knights, we're not going to have a standalone website just yet, but there will be an Indianapolis page on the HKB website where you guys can go and directly stay in touch with everything we're doing there. So great question, Chris. Thanks for asking that. So let's talk about, this is a great point. Live fishing, right? Well, how do you guys feel about that? Like, is that something that's exciting for you? Are you a little nervous about that?
I think I'm going to have to charge people to watch me fish. I crack myself up.
What's the funniest part of you fishing?
Oh man, I'm not even going to go. That was between me and God there.
Oh, you're gonna make us wait. We have to wait to see, huh?
There was no
Pay the
cameras
entry.
on that.
Oh, that's going to be good. I'm excited for the laughs and the blooper reels as well. I've done a couple live tournaments, so people have seen me, have some pretty hilarious moments on the water as well. So Todd Patrick saying, "What's up? What's up, Todd?" So
Sam, what is your most hilarious moment on the water? I've seen them, most of them.
Yeah,
so,
you've been privy to most of those, haven't you?
And while you are like the coach or team owner or whatever, like you are participating here, so we need a little about you, don't we?
All right, fair enough. We don't need to throw titles out there. We are a team. Yeah. So funniest moment for me on the water. There has been quite a few. I'm torn between Lake St. Clair and probably the Mississippi River up at La Crosse. I think both are okay. I'm going to tell Lake St. Clair because there's two parts to Lake St. Clair that are really funny. All right. So let's start with during the tournament, and then we'll go backwards in time and go to practice. So during the tournament, Lake St. Clair, right? Best smallmouth fishery by far, probably in the Midwest, maybe in the country. If you go there and throw a line in the water, you're going to catch a big smallmouth, right? Not if you're Sam Jones. If you're Sam Jones, you're going to catch little dinky largemouth. But it gets better. Not only after 4 days or 5 days of being there, had I not caught a single smallmouth The only thing I'd caught were like 12 to 13-inch largemouth. On the day of the tournament, I'm still paddling at this point, I believe. I was paddling.
Oh, you were paddling.
I was paddling for sure.
Because that probably leads into pre-fishing.
Yes, it does.
Story.
So, trying to make this quick, I paddle like 3 miles easy in this wash tub. I mean, it's literally water coming. I paddle my butt off to get to this area. And I'm fishing around a bunch of guys. Dusty Yacker, one of them. And they're out there smashing fish on a jerkbait. And I'm literally throwing the exact same bait as them, right? So Dusty and a couple other guys are kind of like taking turns on this point. They're kind of like going in a rotation. And I'm out there trying to do it with them. And they're catching smallmouth, and I'm catching largemouth. And I'll go through, and I get bit, and it's a little dinky largemouth. They go through, they get bit, and it's like a 4-pound smallmouth, and it never ends. So I just get so mad that I pack up and leave. All right, so that's one funny thing about me. I can't catch smallmouth to save my life. Secondly, in practice,
I
me
love
and
this
Alan
story.
were checking out
Love
an
this.
area.
Love it.
Yep, me and Alan were checking out an area. The wind comes up, and we're kind of far down, and there's no way I'm going to be able to paddle back. If I try, it'll be 3 o'clock in the morning, and it's only 11 a.m. at this point. And so we decide Alan is going to, and at that time you were in the radar still, weren't you?
I don't know if I can say that, but yes.
At that time, Alan was not in the kayak he is in now.
Currently, yes.
And this was a while ago. This is like 2 years ago. It was a pedal drive. And so we decided, I'm going to hook up to Alan's kayak, and he's going to pull me to the ramp. Well, as I go to hook up the kayak, and I get, tied off to him, and I go to sit back in my seat, I somehow completely miss the seat and go in the water.
And all I hear is a splash.
Full on bibs, rubber boots, jacket, everything. I'm in the water, and I come up, and I've got a swim bait tied to my back. It's like into my PFD. And I climbed back in the boat, and it was a mess, but a lot funnier if you were there in the moment.
Yeah. Well, it was June, but the water wasn't really warm yet.
No,
it was still pretty cool.
Yeah, by the time we got back to the ramp, I was literally shivering, and my lips were blue. But
we will leave this as a closed-ended story, but it wasn't the first time the last time that I pulled Sam.
All right, yeah, whatever. It may have happened 3 or 4 times that season. So, but yeah,
that's what this live thing is going to do. I mean, because you don't get to have those stories anymore to yourself. It's out there. I'll give you just a little. I absolutely hate snakes. Okay, snakes. The only snake I like is a dead snake, about 10 feet away.
Jason's right there with you, I see.
Well, so, and you guys know, last year was my first year really fishing out of kayak, and so I don't know why, but I got into some pretty good fish that liked to eat snakes, and I literally, there was probably a 3-week span that I was catching a fish, and I was scared to reach down and grab it because this little, and it was a little one. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to exaggerate. It was just a little snake comes out of this fish's mouth on the side of the kayak, and I had my paddle, and I was starting to beat, and I was yelling like every little girl, every word they had, and it was just a good thing that nobody saw me at that point. And that was a very embarrassing moment, but it might as well have been an anaconda, because it's
Brian,
just,
we want to hear you scream like a girl.
Oh, it would happen. I'm telling you.
We're looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Well, I'm looking forward to all the missed hook sets and the bait flying over your shoulder and getting wrapped around your visi pole and all those kind of good moments as well. But I'm excited about big fish catches and some last minute decision making and those really exciting moments that you see in live fishing on the big bass tours on the bass boat side. So I think it's going to create some thrilling moments for sure. These are short games. I mean, they're half day tournaments. They're not a full tournament length, so that's going to be kind of cool as well. What let's talk a bit about the bragging rights, if you will, here. Like, what are you most excited to go after? Is it the trophy? Is it the bragging rights? Like, what most excites you about the competition aspect of this series? Justin, you wanna kind of talk about that real quick?
My big thing, I think, is mainly going to be the showing what we can do. I mean, nobody really takes Indiana for consideration. So my thing is, yeah, I'd love to have a championship. I'd love to have that super bowl ring that we're going to come up with. But
Sam has to
at the
buy.
same time, yeah. But at the same time, I mean, I'm probably most excited about getting to travel and meet these other teams and see where they're from and, learn from them. I mean, the guys that are on this screen, if I can take, one little thing from each person on this screen and learn, the amount of knowledge I've gained is just ridiculous. So I'm excited about that more than anything. But the bragging rights definitely has something to do with it too. So
for sure. Jason, you've been quiet, man. What
It's a rarity. I'm saving it for the season. No, the traveling aspect of it, I'm sure there's, we've got Alan and Sam, and you've got some more techie guys that are going to really, do the whole vlogging thing. I'm sure we'll film some travels. The fellowship that we're going to have with this group of guys, traveling with Mike, and I know some of Brian's history and Sam's history. I'm really looking forward to getting to know you guys, on a more personal level, and growing our friendship and truly having a brotherhood that I think a lot of those other teams are going to be missing out on. So I think we'll have a fantastic year, and it's going to be a whole lot of fun.
Absolutely.
I mean, I heard earlier, party in the RV.
Moonshine party in the RV.
I'm not saying it's not possible, but
How many people can you sleep in that place?
I think 8.
Oh, wow.
That's perfect.
How convenient.
Perfect.
Wow. That is, yeah, we definitely need the walkthrough.
We need an Indy Knights wrap on that thing.
Yeah. Well, we're working on it. So
there you go.
I know a guy. He's over this way with some stickers and stuff. But yeah, we're working on a few things. So it'll be pretty cool, I think, when it gets all finished up.
Absolutely. All right. Well, we got a question here. If you guys have questions, we're kind of getting towards the tail end of this thing, so start loading those in, and we'll try and get to them. But Zachary here wants to know what kind of kayaks everyone's in. That's a great question. I think I'm going to start, and then we kind of go through there. So I'm going to be in a Bonafide SS 127. I also have a Slayer Max. Probably be starting in that for the first couple of months here, at least March and April, and then I'll probably be in the SS 127 running an XI20 XI3 on the bow on both of those. So that's my 2021 setup. Justin, what are you in?
I got a 2020 New Canoe Pursuit with the XI3 on the bow, and then I also, depending on what West Virginia says, I might break out the Flint and throw the XI3 on the front of it from New Canoe as well. A little bit smaller water. So
West Virginia's watching. You guys are getting the hint. We're trying to figure out where are we fishing. We're waiting.
I thought that was due already. What's West Virginia holding on to?
I don't know. Apparently, they got like some exception because they don't have signal out there. They're not expected to turn it in yet, or something. I don't know.
They got to break from playing Joe's. So.
No, they are. They're trying to figure out and work with their local groups there to make sure there's not some overlapping stuff, and figuring out one of the big aspects of the KFL is the live experience. But truthfully, signal is pretty poor out there in a lot of places. So I think they're working through some of that, and they're going to get it to us as soon as possible. Of course, the season doesn't start till June, so we got plenty of time to prep.
It doesn't matter, West Virginia. Maybe we're planning.
All right.
You know where we're like. That's all part of the strategy, right?
It's true. We are trying to get out there, and test the waters. So they're trying to keep us. They're afraid of us, is what it is. They're afraid of what we can do, and they don't want us to have too much lead time here. So
I saw the look in Brian's eyes when you said they're afraid of us. He kind of sparked up a little bit.
What you mean, sparked?
You see that? Brian sparked up. Yeah. Got that? I got it too.
It happens all the time. It's uncontrollable.
No shortage of dad jokes this season. Get ready for that. All right.
I'm trying my best. That's all I got.
Let's get back to it here. What are you going to be running this year?
I'm going to be doing a bonafide SS127 as well.
Awesome. Chip's going to come down to the house here soon. We're going to get him rigged up with some power as well. So we're looking forward to doing that. Jason Cassidy, what you always got all kinds of kayaks, man. What you rocking this year?
Right now, we're going to start with the Jackson kayak. We're going to stay with the Bite FD. That I really like that platform. It's super plain and simple and not fancy, and I love it. It's just an open.
Are you describing yourself or the kayak just now?
Very mutual, both.
I think the kayak needs to match the person. I got a lot going on up here. Not so much, when it comes to fishing, I keep it really simple. Yeah, if I've got more than 3 or 4 rods, I'm in big trouble. So I don't take very much out there with me.
Yeah. No, I've seen that, witnessed that, and you do well with those 3 or 4 rods too. So, all right, Mike, I've seen you.
I'm rocking the native, man. I got both a Titan and a Slayer Max.
Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know you had the Slayer.
Yeah, I've had it for a little over a year now.
Okay. Very cool. But that Titan's your go-to. I saw the wrap on that. Looks nice.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm pretty proud of that this year. It's turned out really good.
Sweet. Sparky, I mean, you just won a Hobie.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a shot. It's a little bit small, but I'm gonna go with that for a little bit too. Still gonna use the Johnny 100. I'm just comfortable with it right now because that's what I started in. But I may have a Dorado also. I'm kind of still new to it, so I'm not sure what my office is gonna look like just yet.
Okay, fair enough.
You hear that, West Virginia? He doesn't care what his office is. He will still catch fish.
You got to go to work, man, no matter what you float.
Exactly.
Listen, this guy getting a $50 sit inside and whoop on you. So don't be worried about what he's in. It don't matter. All right, and then Alan Reed.
Well, I'm still in the Black Widow SS127, so with the XI3 on the front. Yeah. Power pole on the back. I feel like I have everything that I need to be successful. So bring whatever you got.
That is a decked out kayak. I'm actually a lot of what I'm going to be doing with my new SS127 is going to be very similar to what you've got rocking there. If you guys haven't checked out, Alan's got a sweet YouTube channel, Under the Radar Fishing, and he's actually got a full walkthrough of that video. The cameraman did an okay job on that one. But
marginal kind of kayak, camera guy. He's all right.
He's okay. But the kayak itself is amazing. So check out that video. So that
was a plug for Sam, by the way, if you guys didn't know. No. Sam did the video. I just did the talking.
Well, Alan, your video on that, I mean, it's not just for the Bonafide, it transfers to a lot of kayaks. Even my new canoe, a lot of stuff that you did on that, that's what gave me the influence on mine as far as certain little things here and there, just for riggability and the ease of use, So We appreciate you putting that video out.
Oh, it does. I mean, there's a lot of things. I just maybe I shouldn't say this, but there's a lot of things that you can just reapply to other kayaks, right? And try to make them kind of as general as possible so everybody can use them. So just like you said, yeah, I'm in a Bonafide, but the XI3 will go on anything. I think it was a question that just popped up here from Mike. You know, I know who
Yeah.
Mike's a part of here. So
Yeah, Austin, I do pedal, but I have a Torpedo on the back as well for those longer runs.
Yep. Power's a big part of the game anymore. You know, you definitely don't have to have power to compete, but in this sport, you always want every advantage that you can get, even if it's just for the mental side of it, knowing that you have all those tools. And so power is becoming a big staple. We got Mr. Coates jumping in here with a comment. And we thank you for that comment, Mark. Appreciate it. So thanks.
I mean, Mark is definitely one of the most vocal people part of this whole series. So much respect coming there. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, the KFL, it kind of came out of the KBBT scene. So Kayak Bass Bracket Tour that started up last year, giving guys an opportunity to fish at a national level, but still in an online format where they didn't have to travel. And it was really something that was needed last year for sure, with everything that was going on, craziness of COVID. And so out of that group formed this idea of the KFL that we're all now a part of. And Coates has obviously been a big part of KBBT, and he's been a big part of getting KFL off the ground. And, you know, he's a bit of a mermaid, but, you know, definitely still.
Oh.
still,
wow.
Still appreciate
wow.
you, Marcus Coates.
So, I mean, you said it, so it sounds like the glove just got pulled off.
Well,
no.
the guy just comes in here and gives us props, and he smacks him in the face.
But he'll appreciate.
That meme was all over Facebook for I don't know how long. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, he'll appreciate the jab.
All right, back to the Indianapolis Knights, who we're here to talk about.
So, all right, let's see if we got any more comments. Let's see, Austin jumping in here again. Thank you, Austin. Yeah, well, luckily, Austin, we won't be fishing grubby events together, so you'll be okay. You'll be okay. Oh man, let's see, Marcus, come back in here.
Oh man, Marcus.
Yeah, so it's going to be fun. There's going to be a lot of trash talk this season for sure, and there's going to be a lot of great moments, funny and exciting and thrilling, and I'm looking forward to it, guys. I'm honored to be a part of this team with all of you, and I'm super excited and thrilled with what we've got here. You know,
so Sam, can I interrupt for a second? I got a question. I mean, I kind of helped do Who's Your Kayak Bassin, even though I'm not there right now.
Yeah,
I got a question.
You're the Florida.
So for each of the Knights anglers, what do you think your go-to strength is?
Yeah, great question. Great question. Let's start with you, Alan. You answer that first. Yeah, let's start with you.
I have no strengths. I just fish whatever's available to me.
That's
I think.
A lie. That's a lie.
No, I kind of resort to what I want to call power finesse. Whether that is a fluke, maybe fished a little bit faster than what most people might fish it, or like let's take the simplest of all rigs out there, the Ned rig. Like I don't just let it sit there. Like it's moving and it's doing something. So it's kind of that mix of power straight, like cranking or something like that, which I'll do. I don't have a problem throwing a crankbait or a chatterbait or something like that. But I throw a chatterbait, like I'll kill it, like let it sit, and like then let it come up and that kind of stuff. So that's kind of my thing, kind of this power finesse mix.
No one can fish a row of docks as fast as Alan can with a Cinco, weightless Cinco. No one can do it. Bet money.
Hey, it works. They catch fish. They're there. If they want to eat, they're going to bite it. So
Absolutely. But great question. Thanks for bringing that up. He's also really good with a tube, so he didn't want to mention that one. That's his secret. That's his money bait. He's really great with a tube as well. All right, so Sparks, what do you think your biggest strength is?
Well, as far as technique goes, I don't. And that's one of the things that I kind of like about this, and that I've started because like Mike, I was a boat guy, and I've been fishing since I was old enough to hold the rod by myself, and even before when I had to help Dad reel it in, and he had to help me hold the rod. So
Brian, was that last year?
Yeah.
Was that last year that you had to do that switch?
Yeah. If I had to pick something, I'd say from 15 foot in, but no certain technique. I just feel like if I need to adjust, I think I can. I'm just confident that I can. I don't feel like obviously it's fishing, not catching, and there's times you go out and you blank, but I don't worry about it. I feel like I can catch a fish in my 8 hours of time. I just think that's my strength, is I feel like I can adapt to the conditions, weather, whatever it is, and make something happen.
Yep. I've seen you do it.
So I'm going to ask this question because I think it's a transition that people go through from being able to go from maybe I'll catch a fish to I know I'm going to catch a fish. What triggered in your mind to say, I know, because you just said it, right? Through 8 hours, I know I'm going to catch fish. What triggered that change?
The change that I know, or the change that I won't catch a fish?
No, the change of I know I'm going to catch a fish sometime, right? It's an 8 hour period. I know I'm going to catch fish. Like at some point that changed from I hope I catch a fish to I know in 8 hours I'm going to catch fish.
I think it's just a mindset, just a confidence mindset. I mean, you can't go out there thinking you're going to blank, because I know I'd hate to know how many times I cast in an 8 hour tournament. I would hate to know that number. And I don't even hardly stop to eat. I don't like to stop to go to the bathroom. It's like, I got to keep going. And it's, just like Sam said earlier, if you're down to, you stop at 3 o'clock and it's 2:50, you can have 10 minutes. That's just magical. And you just can't let yourself get to that point where you don't think you're going to, even if you've got your strong bait, if you've got your favorite bait on, your confidence bait, the second you feel like you're not going to catch any fish, you probably aren't, because you're not working it right. You're either rushing your retrieve's not the same. You're just, it's just a fluke if you catch anything. But
yeah, you're not in sync. You're not in tune.
No, you're not working it to the best ability that you can, that you're used to. I mean, you just have to have that confidence that your next cast could be the biggest fish of your life. And that's the way I've always done it. My dad taught me, look ahead 5 casts or so, look ahead, but keep fishing where you're at, look ahead where you might want to be, where that fish is going to ambush some bait, and keep casting, just keep casting. You never know. You can cast 25, 30 times at the same stick, and that 31st cast is when he hits. I mean, you just have to know that. And it doesn't come just, you have to have, time on the water. I mean, like I said, I've been fishing since I could walk. So, and that's probably, where that comes from. But you just learn that over time, that you could catch a fish at any time. And that's fishing too. That's the love of fishing. You can go out for 8 hours and catch 2 fish and have an absolute awesome day.
Yeah.
Or not even catch a fish and still have an awesome day. But you learned, you tried, I try to develop my casting skills. Even if I'm not catching fish, I'll try to hone up my skipping ability, or just different casts. Just, you can learn every trip out. You just have to look at it like that. It's a learning session every time you go out.
Absolutely. Well, Mike, what do you think your biggest strength is?
Yeah, and just real quick, and I'm sorry that I have to do this, but once I get done with this question, I'm gonna have to jump off here. I got
No
some
worries,
other
man.
questions I need to answer for some people that's trying to text me right now. So
You're all right.
anyway, yeah. So I guess if I had to narrow it down to two things, versatility is one. Again, kind of like Brian, I've been around this game for quite a while, and I've learned a lot over the years, and have developed the ability to utilize multiple techniques depending on what the situation calls for. But having said that, if I had my choice, aside from topwater, everybody knows that that's everyone's favorite. But if I had a choice, you put a jig in my hand and let me go to work, and that's probably my number one strength as far as technique goes. The other thing, then again, kind of spinning off of what Brian was talking about, is mental toughness.
Yeah.
You got to have mental toughness in this sport. I'll give you a really good example that just happened last week, basically down in Florida. Day 2 of the trail series. I started off like on cloud 9. I had my first fish in the boat within 5 minutes into the tournament. Lines in 7 o'clock, 7:05. I had first fish in the boat, nice one. And then I never got another bite until 2 o'clock in the afternoon. From 7:05 in the morning until 2 o'clock in the afternoon, I never got a bite, and I changed lakes twice. Ended up coming back to my starting spot, or starting area anyway, and put a limit in the boat in the last 40 minutes of the tournament.
Wow.
So you got to be in it mentally
Push through it.
from
Yeah.
from
Push through it.
from the word go. Can't let your guard down. Got to keep pounding and keep after it. So experience, both good and bad experiences, have taught me that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You never fails. You see at these tournaments, there's always at least one guy, usually a handful of guys, where it was a 30-minute window, at some point during the day, but a lot of times at the very end, and where it happened. And, you see the guys that get off at noon, when the tournament ends at 3, and you just think to yourself, like, push through it, guys. Like, you never know when that bite is going to turn on. And when you look at the guys who are constantly at the top, it's rarely ever that they went out and caught 5 big ones first thing in the morning. Yeah, that happened at Seminole last weekend, but that's rarely ever the story. It's generally the guy who grinded all day on a spot or covered water until he found that magical place, and it was the last 30 minutes, last hour that he got it done.
And that's a difference in this sport than most other sports out there, right? Like, what other sport takes 8 hours to play their game?
Golf. Does golf count?
Well, maybe, but they're not playing the whole time. Like, we don't get
Right.
a move to the next hole or anything
If it
like
takes
that.
you 8 hours to play 18 holes, I'm never playing golf with you.
Have you ever seen Sam play golf? It may
That's why
take
I
8
don't
hours.
play golf.
I don't play golf. I only bass fish. That's the only. I played basketball and then I moved to bass fishing. Like, those are the only 2 sports. So, all right. Well, Mike, thanks for jumping on, buddy.
Yeah, thanks, guys. I'm sorry I got to jump.
All right.
Got to jump.
Mike.
Hey,
See you,
Take
Mike.
care now.
life of a champ. Always needed. All right. Well, Jason, man, what do you, if I can answer for you real quick.
Yeah.
I think, and tell me if I'm wrong, I think your ability to keep it simple is your biggest attribute. And it's one of the reasons I wanted you on this team. But your ability to keep things simple, and you alluded to it earlier with only having 3 or 4 rods, when most guys are running 7 to 12 anymore. And it's crazy to think 12 rods on a kayak, but it's true. Guys are running that many anymore.
Right.
Am I right? Do you think that's what it is, or
100%? And I mean, one of the things that almost keeps me away from a lot of the accessories that are on boats. I mean, a lot of it is definitely an advantage. But in my mind, the way my mind works is if there's too many moving parts, I'm worried about all those moving parts all the time, and it trips me out. So if I can focus in on a 2 or 3 types of fishing, and I'm already going to be focused on a small area. I do a lot of map study. I haven't touched a rod since October. Literally, I got to put some new line on and stuff for next week, but I haven't touched anything. But you can ask my girlfriend. I'm all over maps. Mapping on my Navionics or Google Earth or paper maps. I go out and get paper maps for the lakes I fish. And the cool thing about Indiana is Indiana sucks when it comes to fishing, right? So if you
Not very many maps either.
Yeah, well, you get to watch like Bill Dance or any of these TV shows, and they fish these iconic lakes that we get to go fish big tournaments. All of a sudden, all that stuff you watch as a kid and as an adult actually in real life apply. You go out there and it's like, man, I tried this technique and it really worked, and it's just awesome places to fish. And so you find a few of these key components in the where a riverbank is or some key structure. I dial in on that small area, and I will take a 200-acre section of a 200,000-acre lake and just dissect the heck out of it with 2 or 3 different baits that I know they will catch. I've got a top water, a middle column, and a deep water selection. Those are usually my 3 baits that I have tied on. And if they're not hitting on the top, in the middle, or in the bottom, I'm not going to do well.
So let me ask this question, and we'll kind of put this personal, right? So we're going to go full transparency here at the moment, right? We have not really talked as a team about what our different strategies are, how we work together, or anything like that, right? Like schedules just got released. So Jason, for you, will it mess with you if we start talking about how we're catching stuff?
No.
You going to stick to what you got, or will you adjust?
The likelihood of me not catching anything on my bait is pretty minimal.
I like that confidence.
My key contribution to the team is no matter what, I'm going to be good for a few fish. They might be 3 12-inchers.
West Virginia, you hear that? Jason is going to catch fish.
I will catch fish. And, between the 4 guys that happen to be playing, it's I really like our chances, and it doesn't matter where they stick us. Like you alluded to earlier, Alan, we fish tough conditions, and we're tough dudes, and you put us out there, we're going to put things together pretty quick. So
it's pretty likely that anywhere we travel to, the conditions are going to be better than what we're used to on a week-to-week basis here.
Yeah.
So
we're right at home getting in line behind 5 or 6 boats and a few kayaks and flipping the same bank.
In a 30-acre pond.
Justin, that sounds like Monroe, doesn't it?
Yeah, we do that.
It is Monroe. Just a big rotation.
That's too. That's why I like our chances. But and we're underdogs. But I mean, why
are we underdogs? Just because our name under the front of the papers, and we're not
things. That's just what I've heard.
Because we're not at the top of the KBF.
Oh, look out for the Knights.
But why? I don't ever want to hear this team say we're underdogs
I like
again.
to root for the underdog anyway.
I don't want to hear it.
At least be the underdog the first time.
I don't want to hear it
until we prove that.
Sam, do you want to hear underdogs again? You want to hear that? You're the coach. Tell us.
I want people to think we're underdogs, but I want us
exactly.
I want us to know that we're not.
We all know that.
Yeah,
I'm never an underdog.
No, you're under the radar.
I might be under the radar, but never an underdog. So, moving on.
Yeah, moving on. Chip, what do you think you bring to the table as far as your biggest strength?
I like if we're talking about a specific type of fishing. I really enjoy soft plastics. working the bottom. I feel I'm really strong at that. But another thing that I'm kind of proud of myself about is we're all talking about being versatile and adapting. I've really tried to throw more of my tackle box than I have in the past, more recently, because I'm comfortable now throwing a chatterbait, a swim jig, a regular jig, soft plastics, top waters. So I think because of the areas that we fish and some of the things we've already talked about, you have to be able to do those things. But I'm really comfortable throwing soft plastics.
Okay. Now, is that something for you where you're fishing really slow? Like you consider yourself to, be able to, sit down and really break apart whatever structure that you're fishing or point or whatever really slow with some plastics and dissect that? Is that kind of?
Yeah, that's really what I enjoy. I'm the opposite of Alan's power fishing and Jason's 3 rods in a boat. I cram as much stuff in my kayak as I can, and I just like to reach back and grab a different rod and throw it if I need to. But I really do fish very slowly, and I think that in itself is an advantage a lot of times, because I think when you're zipping through an area or zipping through, like you say, a bridge or a docks, to be able to slow down and really fish that area, I think a lot of guys miss that because they're quickly moving through. So
Absolutely.
I think that's a plus.
Absolutely.
If I throw one thing in here real quick.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Alan.
Well, I just have one question for you.
Mm-hmm.
Are you going to go with Sprint cell service again this year?
No, we are actively pursuing another cell service as we speak.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Like that. Chip is a great fisherman, but this guy has pulled off of the water hours early in some of the biggest tournaments because he hasn't had cell service.
Yeah.
Well,
so
I can
think about that.
I can tell you at a KFL event, if he tries to bring that Sprint phone, he's taking my extra Verizon phone. So,
and I'm not trying to call him out, but
No.
Chip is a great angler, right? Sure. That's why he's on the team here. And that cell service thing has hurt you. And
it has. So we're going to change that this year. That won't be an issue.
Yeah, it's this sport has so many different variables to it, and the tech side is a big part of it. Not only in just traditional kayak fishing with having to do the catch, photo, release, and uploading your fish into TourneyX or whatever management app is used in that series, but now on top of that, we have this go live thing. And it's one thing to be sitting in your house right now doing a go live. It's a totally different thing when you're doing that on the water. And having to interact in the same way we are here now, but also fishing and concentrating and not letting it get in the way of landing fish and other things. So it's a totally different aspect than you see. I mean, you don't see a guy run down a basketball court trying to film himself with a GoPro or a cell phone, right? So it's a totally different aspect that we have in this sport, and makes it challenging. So yeah, but no, Chip, I think like you said, man, your ability to dissect an area, a small area, and work through and figure out what those fish want in that particular time is definitely going to play a big role in our season. And I'm excited about it. So
thanks.
Justin, we talked a little bit about how versatile you are and willing you are to adapt, but I mean, you have some strengths, like some things that you can really lean on. You want to talk about those?
Yeah, I absolutely love, whether it's throwing a spinner bait or swim bait, whatever. But one thing that I really tried as I grew last year was a lot of people call it fail fast, where, you spend a half hour hopping from this bank to that bank and it's not happening. So then you change it up and you go run deep a couple spots that you got for half hour. That ain't working, to the next thing. And to me, trying that way and being able to adapt and try to overcome whether, the wind's blowing this way, it's blowing that way. That fail fast fishing, I feel, really allowed me to grow as an angler, you know, because then at that point I'm hitting multiple different aspects of a lake fast. And when I find what they're on, then I can sit down and focus on it compared to like last year when I first started, I'd throw a worm on a bank and a spinnerbait on a bank for 6 hours. You know, and as I grew throughout the year, I learned that, hey, you know, you gotta fish deep sometime. You gotta get out there in the middle of the boat down in the road when nobody else is, you know, out there and they're running wakeboard boats by it 40 mile an hour, and you sit out there 40 feet deep and drag a worm, or, you know, they are been on the bank and you got to be trapped out of it. So I think
So
being
Justin, you
able
kind
to
of
do it
broke up
that
for
way,
me. What did you call that? What kind of fishing did you call it?
I call it like fail fast fishing,
Fail fast
because
fishing. So what is that?
to me it's that aspect where, you know, I might beat a bank for 15, 20 minutes, you know, and then shoot across and try another bank for 15, 20 minutes. And if that doesn't work, then I'm like, all right, I'm switching. I'm going to go to a couple spots I have close and fish deep. You know, fish that 30 or 40 feet, drag a worm, and see if they're there. Do that
So
for a
you
half
fish
hour.
out of a kayak like a bass boat guy fishes out of a boat, right? Run to a spot, fish
Yeah.
it away, run to a spot, fish it away, run to a spot, fish away. And if it
Best
doesn't
that I
work, you
can.
just keep going till you find out
Yeah.
what it is.
The best
Yeah.
that I can, yeah.
I've seen them do it.
But
I've
at the
seen them
same
do it
time,
numerous times.
I have no problem if I'm flipping wood and I'm getting good bites. I have no problem sitting there all day long and flipping wood, you know. But I want to find my fish and I want to find them fast, and I don't want to burn up a lot of time sitting on a bank or running back and forth on a bank and not get anything, you know.
Yeah. See, that's what's cool about this team is like everyone brings different styles and different aspects and different strengths. And we're seeing that as we're going through and talking. I mean, Chip was just the exact opposite of you. And now here you're talking about how you like to quickly go through and try different things. And I think that's powerful in this team. I think one of your biggest strengths outside of adapting is throwing a swim bait. And yeah,
It's not a lot of secrets, but
yeah, you're pretty good on a swim bait bite, and you, one of the things that you do, a lot of people and myself included, you kind of have one swim bait that you throw, you know, one kind of weight, one kind of retrieve, maybe a couple, but you, man, like you come up with some crazy ways. I'm not going to share all your secrets. Come up with some crazy ways of fishing a swim bait on an underspin, different styles of swim baits, different colors. You adjust and you can always somehow find a bite on that swim bait.
So you hear that, West Virginia, Marcus Coates? You are going down.
Hey, you know, I'm going to tell you guys one thing. A lot of people don't know this. I'm excited to go to West Virginia because there's a possibility I might break out a fly rod and fly fish out of the kayak if it's right.
Oh,
so we'll see.
Yeah,
now,
you heard that, West Virginia, right here. You heard it. You heard it. We're not scared of you.
It'll be in the hull of the kayak. Whether I break it out or not, we'll just have to see. But it'll be with me.
Well, I think we got everyone's strengths here. You know, Adam's having some technical difficulties, so he's not on with us anymore. You know, and he's another guy who can grind it out and do a lot of different things. So
you have to on Monroe.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, absolutely, you do. And he can fish a lot of different depth ranges, obviously with fishing Monroe, but he's good on a river and up a creek, and he's proven that. And I think he brings a lot of similar attributes as you all do as well. And he's another guy, you know, bass boat side originally. So he's definitely not new to competitive fishing by any means, even though he is only in his second year in a kayak. But all right, cool. Well, I think we got everyone's strength there. And, you know, we've been on for about an hour and a half now. So I think it's probably time we start to wrap this thing up. Anybody have anything they want to say real quick before we kind of end it out?
Jason wants to say something. I can see
Yeah,
it in his
well,
face.
Yeah, I unmuted my mic, but yeah, thanks, to Sam and Alan and everybody for the platform that we're talking on with tonight with the Hoosier Kayak Bass, and I think it's awesome. Look forward to really getting to know everybody on the team a lot more, and growing our friendship, and it's going to be an awesome year. I look forward to meeting some new guys across the country, and definitely serving up Indianapolis a title. You know what I mean? I think it's something that our town has been missing since Peyton Manning stepped out. So maybe the Indianapolis Knights is the void that can fill that spot
I
up.
like it.
Did you just call yourself Peyton Manning? Is that what I heard?
Well,
I mean, he is flexing. Look at him.
Maybe just a little. I think we got this. I think it's going to blow up. The outdoor industry has really, gone up a huge incline in popularity with the COVID-19 deal. So there's more people looking at the outdoors, and I just think it's a phenomenal opportunity to put not just kayak fishing on the map, but professional kayak fishing on the map. I know it catches some flack from the naysayers out there, but anybody that fishes a tournament from a kayak, if they say they think professional kayak fishing is stupid or not going to happen, I think they're dead wrong. And I think it's definitely going to happen. I think it's definitely awesome. And if you're doing a tournament, why wouldn't you want to be a part of that? So I'm really excited for our opportunities and our chances. So ready to get after it.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
He said something, you're talking about, like the Elite Series and all the big boat guys. But, we actually had a pretty awesome comparison this last national tournament at Gunnersville. When there was, I know just before I got there was a pro tournament, didn't do well. And there was also, I think the elites were down there. And, our weights, per inches, we were right there with them, if not better. And I mean, if people actually paid attention to that, they'd be like, hey, these guys are legit. They can fish. They're not just out there in a pretty wrapped boat with people sponsoring them, giving them all kinds of, clues and money. And these guys know what they're doing. And I think it's just a matter of time before they catch on. And it's, like I said, it's going to blow up.
Absolutely. It's definitely catching on, and people are starting to recognize it for sure. I mean, we're seeing some big name guys starting to dabble in it because there is a lure to it, obviously, but like you said, when you go and you look at the FLW Cup with KBF, right, and they're on two different lakes, right, but you can consistently see that the kayak guys, when you match inches to weight, there's obviously a calculation there. Consistently see that we're doing as good, if not better, a lot of times. So people are definitely getting excited about it, and you're seeing some of these bass boat guys starting to try it out, which is really cool. All right, Justin.
I'm just excited. I'm ready to go. I want to thank everybody for coming out and supporting us tonight, watching us. And just me personally, I mean, if you guys got questions, want to check out my kayak, anything, just hit me up. I'm here to help as much as I can. So just keep your thoughts. But I appreciate everybody, Sam, Alan, all the guys, everything you're doing. I mean, it's going to be amazing. So.
Yeah, man, we're excited to have you. And like Justin said, he's always willing to drive and let you jump in a kayak and try something out. And that's one of the things I love about you, man, is that you're all about the community. So,
that's right.
Chip, any last words, my friend?
Well, just echoing everyone else's comments, really proud to just be a part of this team. I think I don't believe this will happen, but if we were to go over for the whole year, I still think we're the class of the league with the guys that we have on board. Great fishermen, but equally great guys, and it's really cool to be a part of it. So I just thank you for the opportunity and the chance to be here.
Absolutely, man. Thanks for taking this journey with us.
Thanks,
All
Chip.
right. Well, Brian, Jason, Chip, Justin, I'm going to let you guys drop out of here and get on with your evenings, and then me and Alan, we're going to close this thing out.
All right, you guys have a good
Thanks,
night. We
guys.
appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys. See you.
Have a blessed weekend. See you, boys.
Too, man.
All right.
No, there were two.
There were two, the original HKB podcast crew.
We are still here.
We're still here. Well, man, I'm excited about this team. I think you were the first person that I called on, obviously, when I learned about all this, and you've been crucial, not only for HKB but for this Knights team. Really, just been a sounding board for me, and I appreciate that, man. And I'm excited to take this adventure with you and the rest of the group. But just want to say thank you, man, for everything you're doing to help me out. So.
This whole thing with HKB, I mean, this isn't about HKB. It's about the Knights tonight.
Sure.
But it certainly started with an idea. We made it happen. We're still growing it. But this whole kayak fishing thing, right? Like, started as an idea, I'm sure, right? Go back way back to the day, right? Started with an idea. Some people wanted to get out and fish. And it's grown into this other thing, which is kind of how we have gone, right? It was an idea, it kind of grew into something, it's grown into something more. Here we are as the Knights. And I dare anyone, any team out there that thinks they're going to take the Knights down. Because I would put what we have up against anybody. That's right. There's great individuals out there. And we may not have the best individual on any certain day, but as a team, I think we were going to be able to come together and perform like no other team.
I agree. I think we're a very strong team. I think we'll be dominant. And I look at the other rosters, and you're right. There are a lot of big names on there. But I know what this team is capable of as a group, and we already, without ever having fished a single day together as a team yet, we already have a really tight knit group, and I know we're going to work well together, and I think it's going to be great. I do want to get to a couple questions here real quick, and then we're going to end this thing out. Some guys are asking what the home link is going to be. I'll share that with you guys real quick. If you haven't seen, we did post that up a couple weeks back, probably now. But let me share that with you guys. So we're going to be going up to Rochester, Indiana. And I probably say this name wrong on this, but Lake Manitou,
Yep.
I believe is how it's pronounced. And this is up in northern Indiana. Again, one of the things about this league is having to have cell phone service and good fishing. Like, nobody wants to watch guys struggle to catch fish all day. So that in Indiana is pretty difficult to do. We talked about it being difficult in West Virginia. It's very difficult in Indiana to find a place where you can safely fish, catch a bunch of fish, and have great cell phone coverage.
And I'm not going to go into what it is, but we have some pretty good accommodations, which if you're staying in a bad situation, it doesn't help.
No. Yeah, it doesn't. It doesn't. So we're going to be comfy here. I think our teams coming in are going to be nice and comfortable. We're going to have some fun, and we're going to catch some fish, and it's going to be exciting. So all of our home games will be here. Now, teams are allowed to pick up to 3 home waters, but we are going to have all 3 of our home games right here, and hopefully some playoff games if we're lucky. So And then I'll show the schedule one more time here real quick. So give me a second to pull that up. Show you guys the schedule one more time. Kind of wrap up here. So week 1, going to West Virginia. Now this is an interesting week because it's the same week as the Bassmaster Classic kayak series. So a lot of our team is going to be there, and probably including myself. We're going to have to figure out what that starting lineup is going to look like, and we'll announce that soon probably. But that's kind of an interesting week. And then, like I said, we go back to Detroit, which will be fun. Hopefully I don't follow the kayak. Maybe I can actually catch a smallmouth. And then West Virginia's coming home. A bye week in week 4, week 5. We get to go to Logan Martin. I'm excited about that one. And then we host Alabama week 6 and Detroit in week 7. So 3 home games, 3 away games. All of the games but one are 6 a.m. to 1 p.m. We do have one evening game, 12 p.m. to 7 p.m. Again, all these games will be streamed live on KFL as well. We'll share everything here on HKB.
Which, if you want to see what it's really like follow those, right? Because you're going to get to be on the kayak with us, see everything that we go through, the pain of missing a hook set or the joy of catching a big bass.
Absolutely. It'll be good. Well, we're almost to the 2-hour mark. This is one long episode. I had set a goal that I knew was probably not feasible of getting this all in an hour.
Don't even say you shouldn't have said what your goal is, Sam. We know you can't meet an hour.
No, I can't. I never can. And then with 8 guys, it's even more difficult. But no, it's been fun. It was cool. Hopefully everybody got to learn something new about some of these local anglers. And that's what Here's Your Kayak Bassing's all about, is promoting the anglers, promoting the series. And now, obviously, we get to promote the Knights as well. But I'm excited to have the podcast back. We'll be back next week with a special episode. We're going to have Chris from Moving Waters on. We're going to be talking about what Moving Waters is doing in the kayak community. We're also going to be talking about the Heartland Kayak Fishing Summit that's coming up. Which is a little expo they're putting on there at the shop. Typically, that would be at the Indianapolis Boat Sport and Travel Show. But due to things, that's not happening. So Chris is putting it together there at the shop, which is really cool. So we're going to be talking about that next week. And then after that, we've got the breakdown of 2021, everything going on in the Hoosier State. And this season, and that's going to be cool. We got a lot to talk about. I'm going to bring on a special guest for that episode, the voice of Grubby Talk, Brian Spray. Going to bring him on to go over that with me as well. And of course, if Alan wants to take a break from the sunny, warm weather there in Florida and jump on with us, he's always welcome.
But tonight was about the Knights, because I hope every other KFL team watches this, because we are not scared of you.
If you guys can't tell, the person who's going to talk the most stuff all season is going to be Alan.
And I've always backed it up. I don't talk a lot about a stuff if I can't back it up. So,
all right,
we're coming for you. Coming for you.
Well, we're excited for the challenge. We're excited to compete. These guys are pumped up, and man, June's going to be here quick. Season's going to get started off June 12th, and we'll be ready. So, all right, that is it for tonight. Alan, thank you, my friend. I'll let you go here and close this thing out.
Yep. Always been good.
All right, man. Well, there's episode number 2, season 2 of HKB podcast. Meet the Knights. Like Alan said, is all about the Knights tonight. And, we got some bugs still to work out, some things to do, but we'll get this thing honed in. And you guys can watch live. You can watch on YouTube. We'll have that all there for you. If you missed the live, you can watch it later. But thanks for tuning in and being a part of this. Please, as it's scrolling there at the bottom, give us a follow on Facebook and Instagram if you have one, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're going to be putting out a ton of content. HKB website will be back up. Final stages of that. It'll be back up by March. You'll be able to find tournament information there, see all the latest news and recaps, learn about the anglers in the state and everything else going on, live leaderboards, all of it. Great video content podcast, not only from HKB, but the other podcasts in the state. And it's going to be awesome. I'm excited to get that back up for you guys. Thanks for tuning in. Huge shout out to TRCcovers for sponsoring this episode of HKB Podcast. And we'll see you all next week as we talk about Moving Waters and what they're doing and the big show coming up here in a couple weeks. All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you soon.